Todd, we good? Awesome. Start with the opening statement from Coach.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty dominating win. I was really happy with our guys' effort, particularly on defensive end of the floor. Put a heavy emphasis on McGee. You know, outside of those 2 threes he got early in the second half, I thought our guys did a really good job on him. You know, Amari did a great job to start. Jaden Bradley came in, did a great job. Anybody that got switched on to him did a really good job. You know, I think they struggled a little bit with their length and athleticism, finishing at the rim. So we had, I think they had us for 6 blocks, so might have had even more than that. So I wasn't that concerned with our 3-point shooting last game. I've seen us make shots a lot in practice. I just told them, let's take the right shots, you know, shoot them in rhythm, trust your work. You know, Sears and Brandon came out 3 of 5, 4 of 5, so they shot it well. And we got some other guys that can really shoot it that, you know, even Amari's gonna start making some shots. I know he can make shots, so, you know, and Ryland makes some shots too. So all in all, I thought it was good. You know, we got stuff to work on still, but it's a quality team. It's picked to win the A-Sun. There's already been 3 A-Sun teams go in and beat high major teams this year already. So, you know, and they are good. I mean, they're gonna go win a lot of games. They've won a lot of games every year that Richie's been there. You know, we got them on a tough night and felt we had some guys that could match up with McGee pretty well. It's gonna end up being a really good win for us because they're gonna go win a lot of games here this year.
Thanks.
You started off with defense. I wanted to ask a little bit more about Namari. I mean, what did you like out of his matchup with McGee when he was on the floor, and how did he execute tonight?
Yeah, Namari's got length. He's got a 6'10" wingspan. He's a high IQ guy, plays hard, thinks about the right stuff. So, you know, we liked it. I thought, you know, that also enabled us to put Sears onto Porter, you know, and Porter had a big rep coming out of high school, so we thought Sears' quickness could kind of match Porter, and thought Namari's length and size could bother McGee, and I think it did. I mean, McGee did shot 3 for 11, 1 of 5 from 3. We did a pretty good job with him.
You mentioned the 3-point shooting, but how good was it to see it translate into a game? And then also, how much did it open up the rest of the offense? It seemed like you guys got a lot of easy buckets with them kind of focused on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they run the pack line. Richie was with Tony Bennett at Virginia. They pack everything in really tight and gonna make you score from the perimeter and not gonna let the ball get in the lane. So, you know, you gotta make some shots. So it certainly helped. We went 10 and 22 from 3 because, you know, Brandon being as long as he is can kind of shoot over him a little bit. So it's huge that Brandon made those. And, you know, Sears has been a quality shooter his whole career. I mean, at Ohio last year, he shot, I think, 42%. So we knew he was going to get it going. So it was big. Those shots dropped for those guys. Big for our offense, too, and kind of keep the floor spread. And once you start making them, they got to come out of the pack a little bit and opens lanes up to drive and be able to draw some fouls.
Chase.
A few minutes into the game, Liberty got loose for a few layups underneath on his passes going into the end. You looked pretty animated about it. Was that just good screening or an awareness issue, or?
I don't even think they came off screens. I think we just lost our guys on cuts. I mean, we had guys that we were supposed to be helping off of. You know, they've got designated screeners and they got designated shooters, and the guys that were guarding the slashers, screeners were losing their men. They were getting beat on some back doors. So we had that issue too much tonight, actually, but there's a couple, you know, back to back there. We call timeout and get this thing straightened out and make sure that we're not giving them a run, because they were in that thing there for a good part of the first half. I mean, we didn't open that up until late in the first half, beginning of the second half, so we just want to make sure that we get on our defensive side. You got that timeout in the first half, you don't use it, you lose it. I end up having it sitting there with 30 seconds to go most of the time, so we had a few defensive screw-ups and we use it and get them straight there.
In the front.
Yeah, Coach, you lost Shaq, you lost Keon, you lost JD. You come back with this insanely deep guard group. This is without Welch and Quinterly. So what's the potential for this group and how special do you think they are?
We got some guys that can really play, and like you said, I mean, Don Welch, a proven shooter, shot almost 40% of his career, you know, in a quality league, so when he gets healthy and can play, he'll give us even more depth, and Cornelly's the best breakdown guy in the team, so I think he'll get our shooters better shots when, you know, when we can get him back. So, you know, we wanted more length, versatility, more depth. I mean, last year, you kind of preach all the defense you want. If there's nobody put in the game when they're not playing defense, it's hard to hold them accountable. Well, we don't have that problem this year. If they're not gonna guard, they're not gonna stay in the game. So they're guarding right now. I think our effort's been really good the first 2 games, and I expect it to stay really good, especially when we start adding some more of these guys, because, you know, these guys are playing, you know, we've got Brandon and Mark play almost 30 minutes. You know, but some, you know, we got a lot of other guys that are mid to high 20s. Well, you know, Cornerly and Tom Welch get back, and Darius Miles didn't play tonight either. He's another perimeter player, so you get those 3 guys back. Some of these minutes, a lot of these minutes are going to get cut a little bit. So how do you stay on the floor? Well, better be playing defense at an elite level, because we got plenty of scoring options. Like we need some guys that are really going to lock in and be solid defenders. So I was happy to see Namari and Jaden both do what they did tonight on a guy that averaged 25 last year.
Joey?
Coach, Clowney and Bediako said yesterday the big focus for you guys was ball handling and turnovers. I was just wondering what you thought, how your team performed in that area tonight.
Better than last game, but still too many. I mean, you know, Sears, our point guard, had 5. You know, some of them were just, he played a great game. I thought, you know, he shot it well, he got to the free throw line. You know, he's a better free throw shooter than what he shot tonight too. He rebounds the ball great for a guard, but we got to get him to cut down on his turnovers, I think. You know, Jaden Bradley was pretty good. You know, he's the other guy. He only had 1 turnover to go with his 3 assists. So we had 14 assists, 15 turnovers. You'd like to see that ratio a lot better the other way. Still gonna be a point of emphasis here moving forward. We just gotta clean some stuff up in that area.
Michael?
What do you think about the team's ability to put them away in the second half when they could have come back and made an effort?
Yeah, I thought we had one kind of when they got on the floor for that loose ball first, and then we came down and got the foul called on us. You know, we had a media timeout pretty quick after that. Like, we got to play hard in them. You know, we chart the blue collar points. I think there's 10 4-minute wars. You know, every 4 minutes you get a media timeout. I think we won the blue collar on 9 out of the 10. So we just made that a huge point of emphasis that, you know, we're not going to let this team come in here and play harder than we play. We're going to fly around, get more deflections, blocks, rebounds, take more charges. You know, I thought we did a good job of that. At the end of the game, I think, you know, Ryland ended up winning the blue collar deal, but we had a lot of guys right there with them. And this is a team that slows the game down. And, you know, once we got the lead, you know, it's hard to slow the game down when you're down as much as they were in the second half. So I think we had 72 possessions, which is only maybe 5 or so less than what we had on Monday night. So, you know, I think our guys had us targeted for 85 blue collar points. They had 48, so I thought we gave a really good effort for the entire game, really.
2 more. Katie?
Obviously, it ended up being a dominant win, but immediately after that timeout, what kind of response did you see from the team on that 11-0 run, and then just how did that kind of carry over into the rest of the game?
Is that what we had out of that timeout? 11-0?
The first half, yeah.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, it was a great response. Guys come out, locked into the defensive end. You know, we just keep preaching defense effort, blue collar play. The shots will drop. We're too talented on offense. As long as we play unselfish, the offense will take care of itself. So I thought for the most part we did that tonight. So plenty of stuff to clean up. You know, we'll get back to the video, but efforts. We haven't had an issue with the effort in the first 2 games. That's what we want all year. Like, if we lose at some point this year because we just couldn't make a shot and got quality shots and our effort was there, like, we can live with that. We're not gonna live with losing because we got out-efforted, if you will.
Last one in the back.
The team was a lot more aggressive in the second half, tagging the interior, delivers defense, in the half court especially. Was that kind of a point of emphasis going into out of the locker room?
You know, we wanted to spread them out a little bit. I think, you know, making a few shots, get them kind of out and getting some stops and getting out in transition too. A lot of that attack in the paint happened early in the clock. Sears getting the ball downhill early. So, you know, if you can get stops and run on your stops, I think it's a lot easier get some paint touches and transition before their once their half-court defense gets set up, I mean, they're tough. I mean, they don't let the ball get inside. They're good, but we were able to get a lot more transition opportunities in the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.